You sexy beast. You sexy beast. You sexy beast. You sexy beast.
checklist. Got one more for the set list. Walk in the spot and I drop one track. Know who the best is. Walk in the rave like checklist. Got one more for the set list.
Tell me what's going down. I can't stand it when you're so shut down.
But now I'm on board. Now I'm on board. Now I'm on board. Now I'm on board.
Tell
one more for the set list. Walking the spot and I drop one track. Know who the best is.
Tell me what's going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the finale of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Endurance Championship. The drivers eager to get ready to go racing on track. What is at stake here today for all of them? Well, for some, it's maximizing their performance, solidifying their legacy here in CMRSC, but for others, it's a championship. What is at stake here today for the fourth and final round of the championship? Welcome to Interlagos. Located in São Paulo, Brazil, Autódromo José Carlos Pace, better known as Interlagos, is one of the most iconic circuits in motorsport. Opened in 1940, it's a track built in the hills of Brazil with sweeping corners and drastic elevation changes, and a layout that's legendary for racing action. At 4.31 kilometers with 15 turns, Interlagos is tight, technical, and full of character. It may not be the longest circuit in the world, but it packs everything. Fast straights, sharp braking zones, flow mid-speed sections, and blind crests. It's a favorite for Formula 1, Stock Car Brazil, and Endurance Series, and when it comes to multi-class racing, few tracks have matched the drama and traffic managed and challenged Interlagos offers. In CMRSC, Interlagos has hosted the 2022 and 2023 DTM World Championship, as well as the 2024 World Endurance Series Championship, and more recently, this year's 2025 Formula 1 World Championship. High-speed prototypes, nimble GT cars, and slower touring machines all sharing the track at the same time, that is where Interlagos shines. Timing, patience, and split-second decisions define every lap. This circuit is a masterpiece, knowing when to pass and when to yield. Most importantly, though, how to survive. So let's break down the keys of chaos and the corners that these multi-class drivers go through. Starting off with turn 1, the Senna S. The turns 1 and 2, it's a famous downhill left-right combo off the start. LMPs and GTs will dive side by side, but not only one comes out clean, it's tight, technical, and a perfect recipe for a lap 1 drama and really survival. Turn 3, Curva de Sol. Flat out sweeping left-hander that gets onto the back straight. LMPs will try to pass the slower classes here, but the exit and positioning from the Senna S's matter the most. Turn 4, Descida del Lago. A heavy braking zone at the end of the Reta Ostra. Dive bomb city for the faster classes. GTs need to watch their mirrors, as this is where the multi-class interactions get real. Turn 15, Juncao. Power up the hill and then onto the left-hander for the iconic front straight. Slower cars hug the inside while the faster cars swing to the outside. This is really where the slipstreaming begins, and you need the perfect exit to time your moves. Interlagos is never quite in multi-class peace. There's always mayhem, there's always chaos. The pressure really never drops. It's a test of racecraft, awareness, and composure, where faster doesn't always mean safer, and smart driving is probably the best way to survive, even if it means taking it slow. So if you want tension, action, and non-stop overtaking, Interlagos brings it. In the world of Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, this will be host of the fourth and final round of the 2025 CMRSC Endurance Championship. The stage is set for a highly anticipated championship finale, and after the United States Grand Prix, as well as a week break from racing, we are eager to find out the champions for LMP2 and GTE. In the last round at Road America, we saw a tale of heartbreak in LMP2 as a race-ending horror show run by modern-day Ferrari strategists ruined the chances of seeing Christian Romao take victory in America, and instead, it went to the Canadian who needed this win to prove himself still worthy. And as to watch Adam take the checkered flag, he is now very ready to go into war against Mike Van Dorn. However, not only that's his teammate, he's the challenger for the championship. Will we see team orders play out in Brazil, or will it be racing pride that takes over? But in the GTE class, we saw a whole new winner in Sven, where after heartbreak and a penalty in the first round at Belgium, he finally turned it around and took victory this time. And while it's a dominant race win, it's not quite the same in the championship. However, there's still points to gain for the ending of this one, and still many places to finish up the order. But it will be a little showcase in the GTE for sure. But as we are looking for a new champ in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, there's so much speculation we can do from the sidelines from each class. So as time ticks down until the green flag drops in Brazil, we wait to find out who becomes champion of the prototype and GT class. This is round 4. The Brazilian CMRSC Endurance Grand Prix Finale. This is it. It's the final round of qualifying here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Endurance Championship. I'm your host, Rahul Nasseir, and we are back for another round, the final round of the championship, and it's gotten very, very intense with GT qualifying already underway. Welcome, everybody in the chat. We hope you enjoy the action that you're going to be seeing on your screens, and we hope you enjoy this amazing telemetry, the leaderboards, and everything. There is so much with this pack. This is the CMRT broadcasting HUD, and this is the greatest investment in my life because, wow, this revolutionizes broadcasting in sim racing. It's absolutely incredible. But enough about me. It's time to go around a lap here at Interlagos. Who's going to take pole? Well, let's find out. Starting off with the Portuguese of Daniel Santos as he heads into turn 1 now. Hard on the brakes, down to third gear, into the Senna S's, into the left-hander, flick it into the right-hander now. And then flat out to the left-hander. Onto the back straight, passing the DRS board sign, but no DRS board, of course, and no DRS for these cars. Heading into Sector 1, completing Decina del Lago next. Flick to the left-hander, using all the curb, flat through the left, and then we race up the hill for the double right-handers. You see, 100% brakes and feathering the throttle. Santos going up the hill now. You can just see him trying to desperately get the throttle down, but as he finally gets on the brakes for the rights and lefts, going down and up the hill now. It's a roller coaster around this part of Interlagos. Into the next section here, and we should be crossing over the end of Sector 2 as Eduardo is going faster on his current lap time right now. But we watch Santos as he takes over the second sector, as he's the first driver to do so, passing through Juncao. Little slide on corner exit for the Ferrari, but nonetheless, though, he races to the line. Daniel Santos will be the first driver to come across this line, and the time that the drivers are going to be chasing down as he hugs the inside. It's gonna be 131.318, and the Porsche of Eduardo fighting for this championship races to the line now. It's going to be second fastest, 31.860, as Milana goes to third, Ilham in fourth. In fifth, we have newcomer here, Keimani Nyong, the Frenchman, as we have Ryan Caesar back for his second round here. And Jose now coming around here as Rian Milana puts down a first sector purple. And take a look at those tire compounds around here. Very interesting to note. We have some soft compounds, some mediums, but Santos and the Ferraris, those are the ones that are probably going to be to beat out here. But who knows? It's a very interesting setup here for tires. Interesting, though. The SH tire going for Jose. Very interesting to see what goes down there if he can set down a good lap time. But Milana is fastest right now in the taxi. We have not seen the taxi often in this championship, and we're happy to see him right back around here. He did say he was going to take the pole for GTE, but I'm not too sure if he's going to be able to get that one this time around here as we just look down the screen onto the leaderboard to Keimani, who's just exiting out Junkao. But we look onto the main board here of Regan, and what can Regan do across the line now? And he's going to go up to second, pushing down Eduardo. Here comes Keimani across the line. Positive sectors on the board. And he's going to go to 6th position only for this one. Let's take a look at those lap times there so far. So still, Daniel Santos fastest. But in this lap right now, he's not improving as much as he wants to. So we're going to take a look and continue on this lap. Is there anything that he can do? As he flicks it into the right-hander. Looking for a chance. As we watch here, Paulo also trying to go for a lap time. Now we're going to watch both sectors on our board, but Paulo still trying to get his first laps in. This is, of course, for a championship that the drivers are going to be going for. Pole position will gain you just 1 point, but it's one crucial point. And Santos, if he can get this one, it would be amazing for him. Sector 2, fastest for him as well. So he's absolutely on the bubble here, but all eyes are on this man right here. Can we see a good lap time come down for him? Paulo Ladino comes across the line from 13th, goes to 4th, doesn't improve in that 3rd sector, but it's the lap time he needs to get on the board. Santos actually took it straight to the pits. Milana not on a current lap time at the moment. Interesting to note that Santos, yes, he had the purple middle sector, so desperation. He probably wants to improve that one as soon as possible. Regan Milana definitely not in this championship fight, but will gladly take some points off the cusp of some of these drivers coming up. But let's take a look at what this championship is looking like in the GTE category. It's Eamon Esmeer who's on top at the moment. We know he's going to be racing with us. Not seeing him for qualifying as yet. We really hope we can see him. He's top of this board. If not, Eduardo may have an easy slam dunk. But if Daniel Santos is going to be the fastest one here today, it's going to be drama. As we head back out here on the main screen, still trying to find out who's going to take pole position. Virtual checkered flag comes out at the 15-minute mark exact, so keep a little side eye on to that as you watch the rest of these competitors come around here. As Lacey Fancher, we did not see it live, but she goes 2nd position here in qualifying, a 31.507. Still the Ferrari's fastest lap time of Santos for Falcon Shift Pro. 31.318, but it's a Ferrari 1-2 followed by a Porsche 3-4-5, Corvette 6th, and actually I take my words back, Eamon is actually in the session, so I'm not sure if it was always in the session, but nonetheless though, that is an important driver to watch for this qualifying session here. 12 concurrent viewers so far. It's only qualifying, folks. Wait till we get to racing. That is where it's going to get pure entertainment. But Eamon Esmeer leading the championship. 3rd time's the charm. He was close at Porsche Cup. Got wrecked out at Fuji. He was close at TCR, but then again, it was a lucky shout if he was able to gain some points at those who are just a lot closer to the cup. Peter Sabot won at the Nürburgring. But now, 3rd time's a charm. Eamon, he is here at Interlagos. He leads the GTE standings, and he's going to be a driver to watch out for in this one. So, what's going to go on here? What's going to go down? Lacey already taken down by Eduardo. He's already sitting in the pits. Regan coming over now, and we're going to watch his lap time come across here.
As we also see a couple of the drivers just coming past our screens. Lacey as well, gonna start her flyer. So what's going to go down here? Very important qualifying session. There's your teammates on your screen there. Lacey not improving as much. Yellow in the first sector. 19-2. Casper, Andrew may make contact with each other. Andrew's in the pits right now, so I'm not too sure who exactly did make contact. 23 seconds until the virtual checkered flag comes out. That means once the session is over for these guys in about 17 seconds, you cannot cross the start-finish line anymore. So the following drivers, I think from P13 on, there are your final couple of drivers to come across to finish this one here. So the virtual checkered flag is waving now, so if you are already on a lap, you can finish it. But once you cross the start-finish line at this point, you cannot start another lap. Once you finish your lap, please take it to the pits. So Lacey and Jose go side by side. I think Jose just noticed it a little bit too late, makes a little bit of a mistake, just trying to desperately get out the way. Lacey comes across the line, and that's going to be her qualifying done, staying in third. Sector time purple for Santos, however. What's going to go on for him? We also want to take a look at Eamon. What can Eamon do as he comes across the line from P7? Crucial for the championship. Can he get a bonus point? No, he can't. And that is huge. It's only P6. Who is next to come to the line? It's Santos, and he goes faster in the third sector. 1:31.291. Paulo across the line, 6 pushes down Eamon. And as for Eamon Aspear, it's 7th as he leads this championship. All right, that is qualifying complete for the GTE class. Congratulations, your top 3, Daniel, Eduardo, and Lacey. And take a look how close qualifying was between these drivers here. 0.05 between P1 and P2. It's a Ferrari Porsche on top there. So at the exact 10-minute mark left to go in qualifying, that is when LMP2s can come out. At that point, no GTE is allowed to come out of their pit box. Yeah, just to add on there from what Daniel is saying. Yeah, Andrew is actually in the session. So, qualifying complete there for the GTE class. That is what it's looking like there. So we have just about 3 minutes left to go before we get ready for the next couple of guys to come out here. And it's going to be LMP2s, just to take a look at who is going to be taking part in that one. Klaus Klint and Dylan Moranti, first time here for LMP. Christian Ramau, Danny Nasseir, Mike Van Dorn, and Maximilian Fleer. Unfortunately, the only drivers we're not seeing for today, it's Lucas Smith. And, well, Jaden Harrison's actually being replaced here by Dylan Moranti for this round. Who is the final driver here? Let's actually take a look at the points, and we'll get all those answers answered right about now. Let's swap over. There we go. So, there are your drivers here for today. So it's actually Anna Adam, who I'm not seeing in the session. That's a little concerning. Hopefully we can see him for this one. If not, well, he is kind of in this championship battle, but he's going to need a lot of things to go wrong for the top competitors. Christian Ramau on top. 55 points. 5 points the difference between himself and Mike Van Dorn. Remember, we're in a scenario that's very similar to the last championship at TCR. Why do I say that? Peter Sabot entered the championship lead, as I'm just seeing Anna Adam enter the session, thank God. Peter Sabot entered in the final round without a single win, and he won it in the last race for the sprint. So, Will we see Christian Romao take victory? He was so close at Road America. He was close back. He was closer, I would say. Actually, no. I would say he's definitely closer at Road America, but I'm just ripping off Bandits. There was 2 opportunities he could have won this one. Unfortunately, it's come down to this. Can he get a race win? Will we see a champion be crowned for the first time without winning a single race? That would be pretty interesting because it's all down to consistency. Well, we're all ready for LMP2 qualifying. 30 seconds until green light. Remember, LMP2s must stay in their pit box as soon as it's 10 minutes left to go. That is when you can come out. 18 concurrent viewers, thank you so much for tuning into CMRSC. 20 seconds left to go as we watch the drivers now wait for the green lights, and we are ready for action. Are you late in chat? You are not. This is LMP2 qualifying, and then we're gonna get racing underway. But qualifying comes down to 3, 2, 1. Here we go. LMP2 qualifying officially underway. You guys have until the virtual checkered flag, which is the official end to the session. Here we go. This is it, the final qualifying session of this one. And Adam, the only driver not coming out on track, but this is it. A different championship now to watch out for as these drivers come around the circuit. We are live here at São Paulo, Brazil, here at the famous Interlagos. Our qualifying session, of course, only 25 minutes, but it's split into 2 sessions. Of course, we have our GTEs that we've just completed there. If you did not see what went down, it was Santos who took pole position, followed by Eduardo Brito and Lacey Fancher. It's Ferrari, Porsche, Corvette, as Ilham in P5. P6 went to Paulo, followed by P7 and your championship leader in GTE, Eamon Espeir, Miro Rodribi, and then we have Kasper Tatayaki, and that rounds out your top 9. So, let's swap gears now, and let's take over the man who is looking for a 5th championship. It's Mike Van Dorn as he comes to the start-finish line to begin his flyer and the time that the drivers are going to be chasing. Into turn 1, breaking into a straight line, not darting it into the apex. Interesting. A lot of drivers tend to do that into turn 1. Little lift as he exits through the Senna S. And now as he accelerates down to the back straight, once again past the DRS board, but no DRS. To the back straight, exiting to Decina Delago. All the exit curb used up, and Van Dorn now races up the hill for this part of the circuit. Flick it down, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. A little bit of a wiggle there, and now he gets it rotated. Right-hander, duck it down to the left hand. You don't want to be aggressive on these curbs. The rear end could kick out on you. That's the last thing that you want. Now Van Dorn into the right-hander. Bit of a lockup for him as he now exits the 2nd sector. We're going to see what he does around there for him. Comes across it there, 101.562. Around Junção he goes, and now he can race to the start-finish line, and then we can see what the drivers are going to be chasing down. Van Dorn, however, gonna pin it to the inside, cross over the little pit line on the inside there, race to the line, and he is gonna go down as a lap time of a 1:22.856. And now Christian Romao comes across, and he's not going to be able to go faster. So he's gone to 2nd position. So 1:23.258, followed by 1:23.363. Maximilian, it's a bit of a shame that Max was retired from Road America. There's a bit of shame from him, but he wants to get some redemption around here, as he's already gone purple in Sector 1. So continuing this one off, let's also take a look at those sector times for Mike Van Dorn. Those are the 2 times you want to be watching here now as we head into the braking zone. Flick it into the left-hander. Straight to the right. Just playing with the 1st gear around here. He has Christian Romao ahead of him. Is it going to be dirty air? Just a little bit, but he's also going to get just that tiny bit of toe if he can stay a little bit close. Almost 4/10 down Van Dorn is into Sector 2. As we watch Max, he's actually going to match. Christian Ramau, however, goes purple in Sector 2. Lots of times to look out for. Van Dorn's going to be one of them. Let's find out what he does. Van Dorn to the line. Does not improve. 23.258. Can Christian Ramau improve this lap time? Yes, he can. He goes provisional, and Max is going to follow through. Van Dorn's been shuffled down to third. It's Christian Ramau on provisional pole, 22.456, and he rolls it back up, and he gets back going again for another lap. Van Dorn, however, purple in the first sector. He's flying out here. Really like how you guys say Junkao. Is it? That is how an Englishman, I think, would pronounce Junkao. Regardless, though, quarter names aside, this is a fantastic qualifying. 7 drivers here out of the 8 that we normally see. And this is fantastic here for the final round of this championship. Weather, of course, looking bright as you see a little bit of a lockup. However, for Christian Ramau, bails out on the lap. We'll take it straight to the pit. Max Verstappen also in the pit, so now it's up to Mike Van Dorn. He's been bottled down to 3rd place, but judging by the first 2 sectors, he looks to take back his rightful place on the top. But can he? In a couple milliseconds, we'll know, and he's back on top. 22.314. Fastest as it stands. Down the order, Danny Nasseir a little bit wide on quarter exit in the final corner. 24.9, struggling a bit on this lap, so we're going to have to try to focus on the next lap for this one. Dylan Moranti. First time we're seeing him in a long time. Glad to see him back. He's taking over duties for Jaden Harrison. And he is from the Valhalla club that is with Klaus Klint. So both Valhalla drivers here on track, but Moranti putting down his first couple laps here, trying to get a feel for the car. It was a late call from him. They called him down to Brazil pretty late from yesterday, so luckily they were able to get him on a plane right to Interlagos, and he's back. So we're happy to see Dylan Moranti back here, and he's going to be teaming up with Klaus Klint. Dan Nasseir quickly taking it to the pits and right back out. Anna Adams, surprisingly, he is also one of the guys to take down here. He's currently sitting around 4th, but he is very quick and does love Interlagos. He's going to be a massive threat, but as he stands right now, P7, it might improve this time around as he comes to the line. Let's take a look at it from P7. Oh, he stays P7. Might be an invalid lap time. Yes, it was. Van Dorn in the pits, probably thinking it's probably time to call it quits. Nobody's touching my lap time, even though it's just a 10th. So still a chance. Christian Ramau, fastest in the first sector. Meanwhile, we'll also take a look at Max's time to see what he does. Christian Ramau desperately needs that bonus point if he wants this championship. So still determining who will take pole position here. Christian Ramau looking very, very fast. 17.2, of course, in the first sector. He now races to the second sector. Van Dorn already on an outlap. You see how fast he is. He's already fast in the 3rd sector. Ladies and gentlemen, we really have ourselves a great qualifying coming to the end as Max takes purple in the middle sector. A second down, almost 2 seconds down, goes Christian Ramau. Is it going to be some sort of improvement, or maybe he might have lost all his time going down this one? We take a look at Max coming across the line now, and it's a 23.907. Christian Ramau comes to the line. Is it going to be faster this time by? Doesn't look like it. Oh, a little bit of a slide into these Senna S's. That's the last thing you need. Christian Ramau needs to get a move on. No, he takes it to the pits. That's his qualifying complete, messing it up in the Senna S's. That is huge for the championship. He's not going to be able to qualify for that pole position point. 1 driver down, minute 13 to go. And this is huge. Mike Van Doorn now about to start up his final flyer. And we're going to find out what Van Doorn can do. Let's take this lap on board here before we swap gears to Maximilian as he finishes his lap time. But we're under a minute to go. Who's taking pole here? As he goes to the Senna S's, Van Doorn, a little smooth. However, I will say could have gained a little bit more time. But we're going to find out right about now. His first sector. Back straight. And coming across that line. That's a little bit slow. Wind coming from the southeast direction. Very interesting to note for these guys, depending on the corner entries. And oh, a little bit wide there. Is that track limits? Oh, I don't know about that one. Max crosses the line for this final time. And, well, it's not going to be anything to write home about. Ooh, I'm not too sure how that one's going to stick with the guys. And the guys, I'm really talking about the stewarding room. But we watch here Klaus Klint as Moranti also finishing his lap, and he's going to be able to try out for one more. So Klaus, the first driver to come across the line to finish his lap. He's actually going to... I thought he was going to take... Yeah, he does take it to the pits. Next up, Mike Van Doorn. Can he take pole? He's currently sitting on provisional. All he can do now is to improve this one. 22.314 to beat. And Van Doorn is actually going to take this one to the pits. He's done with qualifying. Max, is there anything left for him? 17.3 in the first sector. We're going to watch how Sector 2 does for him. He's faster in the middle sector. That's very interesting to note. Danny Nasseir also coming to the line right about now. Can he take down Moranti from P6? He does. So he does that. Here comes Max coming across the line. Now, can he go pole? No, but he can take down Christian Ramau. That is huge. And finally, P4 of Anna Adam. Can he secure anything to the front row from P4? Stays 4th position. That's it. That's it for qualifying. All right, great qualifying there. Congratulations to the top 3, Mike, Max, and Christian. Friendly reminder, it's going to be a rolling start at the beginning, so once the lights go out, it'll be a rolling start. You guys will stay 2 by 2 throughout the whole lap, and green flag will be dropped from race control. Great qualifying, everyone. Points will be distributed, and we're going to try our best to update this championship picture as best as we go. I guess I have about 2 minutes and 27 seconds to get ready. Best of luck, everyone. That's going to do it for qualifying. What a great qualifying session it was there. You're going to get to find the highlights of qualifying, I believe, on Tuesday. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're going to do our best now to update the points as much as you can, much as we can. So, we're gonna leave this down here, and that is what the grid looks like. Countdown is on. We start at 1:33. Who's taking the championship here today? It's all down to this. So we're going to be actively looking at points as we go here, and we're going to try our best to calculate everything as much as we can. All right, just to give you guys a bit of pressure, because why not? As for our championship contenders, Eamon has 53 points, leads the GT standings, followed by Eduardo with 48. Daniel takes pole position and now has 39 points. That's your top 3. As for the LMP2 standings, yes, so it's currently Sunrise Danny. Try to refresh your game there, Steven. All right, cool. Make sure you hit that steering wheel as soon as possible. You might get teleported to the pits. If you do, just fall in line behind with the rest of the competitors. Once lights go out, it's max 100 kilometers. 100 kilometers. As for the LMP2 class, Christian Romao leads the championship with 56 points, followed by Mike Van Dorn with 52 points, Max with 49. Here we go. So, Steven, just wait until you see all those drivers come past you on pit exit. I'll give you a bird's eye view here when you can officially come out. All right, you're good. You can start moving. You're going to be lined up next to Anderson. That's the blue BMW. All right. Well, that is enough about setting up this one. It's now time to get this one underway. All right, as this rolling start continues, I just want to say a massive thank you for another amazing championship here. It was only 4 rounds, but despite that, you guys have given us an incredible championship, and we will return endurance racing 1000%. It's been an amazing championship. We're very happy to get a final grid here of 23 drivers. So good luck to all our competitors going for a championship. And let's get this show on the road. Once again, 2x2. We'll let you know when we go racing. It'll be called out by race direction. So, here we go. This is it. And the crowd is loving it. As the drivers come around for this final round of the championship, who is taking victory? Here we go. Once you get onto the front straight, start to get as close as possible to that car ahead as we get ready for the final round. Here we go. This is it. LMP2s, GTEs. It's time to get the final round underway for the championship. It's all to play for. All right, we're going to go around one more time. So, going to delay it one more lap. All right, we're going to delay it one more lap. So, Strucken car on the pits. So, unfortunately, we are losing a bit of time here for this one. All right, we're going to restart the session here, folks. We're going to restart the session. Just, there was some damage some guys picked up there. So, make sure setups are good to go. So, Strucken car on the pits. Apologies for those who got damage there. So, once again, we'll round this out back once again, and we'll go around for another rolling start. Make sure all setups are good to go. Just a Strucken car on the grid, so we're going to run that back. There was some drivers who took some damage. So, a little delay here before we get the calm before the storm. We'll get back that music going here. Music provided by Monstercat. And another delay here before we get this one underway. I think that gives us a quick moment here to look at what qualifying looked at. and we'll also take a look at the championship while we're at it. So this is what the LMP2 class looks like for the championship. It's 55 points against 50 points. Van Doren takes pole position, so he gets that bonus point, of course. So it's going to be very close to the top. It's really going to be a true winner takes all between those guys. Following down the rest of the order, Max has 48 points, followed by Danny Nasseir, Anna Adam, Lucas Smith, Jaden House, and Klaus Klint. So it's going to be a real three-pony race we're expecting here between the top three. Let's take a look at the team standings. So Falcon Shift, Falcon Flame, show me your heart, is on top, 85 points. Followed by Squima LMP2, 55, and Spirit Racing Energy LMP is 48 points. So, once again, same procedure. Let's look at the next class, GTE. So, Eamon on top, 53, and then it's Eduardo, 47, and then Daniel Santos, 38. Peter Sabot, your defending champion, 32. See you later there in chat, Moth. I think that's Jose. So there we go. Time up, and now we can watch this one get underway again. Hopefully we can get all these cars off the grid. And, oh, did Miro get a jump start for at the start of this one? I hope he did not. He might have just gotten a jump start. So, here we go. Formation lap back underway. And let's take a look at the team standings for GTE. So it's Falcon Shift. Falcon Shift Pro, 68 points. It's very close. Falcon Shift and Spirit Racing. So Spirit Racing, that is Eamon and Lacey. Falcon Shift, that's Daniel, and I believe that is also... if I can get my notes, I think that is Kasper Tazayaki. Esquima next in line, 61 points. So it's actually pretty close, top three there, fighting for this title. Should be very interesting to get that underway. Who else do we have there? And that's the rest down the order. Let's get back on the main screen. Let's get ready for this one to get underway. Two classes of incredible racing here. Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, proud to present the final round of the Endurance Championship. Just want to put out a little warning there. I'm not too sure if anybody did. If anybody did get a drive-through, do not take it on this lap. Take it on the next lap. If you got a drive-through for jumping the start, take it on the next lap, not this lap. Once you get onto the front straight, start to bunch up close, and we're going to get this one underway for real this time. Thank you for your patience, and yeah, let's do this. So, here we go. About to get this one underway now for the final round of the championship. Mike Van Doren and Max line up at the front. It's all to play for here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Endurance Championship. Green flag, green flag, green flag. And we're underway! Van Doren in the lead, followed by Maximilian. Christian Romao on the outside, gonna try to take the swing into the San Antonio Del Morenti. Trying to make it 3 wide, makes it 3 wide, gets it down the inside. And the GT car is trying to shuffle down through its clouds. Almost gets swallowed up by Daniel Santos. So Santos goes a little bit deep. Danny Nasseir, I think he may have been just overtaken there on the back. Christian Romao, it's trouble for him. Christian in the wall momentarily. Meanwhile, the front guys go through. It's Van Doren in the lead. Max in second. Moranti third. Followed by Adam in fourth. There you see the GTE pack going through. Lacey third. Eduardo second. Side by side urban action. Pretty close by as they start to lift through there, but it is a dramatic start for one of the LMP2s, and Christian Ramau getting it wrong, and now he's gonna have to face the hardest bit of pressure. The traffic so early on. Interlagos is going to be the track they all revere. It's the worst track here to try to get through in the middle sector. The second and third sectors are very difficult, especially that second. But nonetheless, though, they come around Junkao to complete their first lap here in this 90-minute extravaganza. Oh, a couple guys getting it wrong there, and here we also see Regan holding it up here for Peter Sabot. They're going to go side by side. Are we going to see Miro jump into the pits as well this time by? Yes, he is. And Christian Ramau, has Christian got damage? Christian might have a bit of damage, so having to take to the pitch so early on in this championship is Max now gonna go for the lead potentially. Look to Tessina Delago, but not gonna get it done. But Van Dorn goes wide. And Miro gets his drive-through taken. So here we go. Down the order again. Santos able to build up that lead almost 2 seconds, followed by Eduardo and Lacey. Chat going crazy out here, willing on their favorites. Go Baiano. Anderson Baiano currently sitting P16 in a good train of his own, trying to fight for the top. This is going to be our main battle we watch here. This is your battle for P1. We're also going to take a look down at your leaderboard here. That's your battle for P8. Lacey against Eduardo. But we look here. What can Max do against Mike Van Dorn here at Interlagos? Mike won the LMP2 World Endurance Spec Series Championship here, taking victory at this circuit 1 year ago. Will we see the same thing happen again? As look how close he gets, almost in the grass though, goes Max for the moment as they now enter the back straight here. Can he get another run this time? It's going to be pretty close if he can get this sort of move whatsoever. We're also going to take a look on board with Eamon. He's also following along that battle. There's flashing lights as they head into turn 1, and actually a move being made here side by side. These are both the Ferrari's teammates. They're battling for the constructors. Eamon is battling for a championship, a driver's championship. He needs to get past Eduardo. It may not be Team Orders. I think they're racing very hard out here. Meanwhile, you get to look back on your screen here, and we get that side-by-side views. We also watch the battle for the LMP2 race lead. Eduardo defending hard for P2. Eamon on the podium. But take a look at Santos's lead. He's all the way gone out of here. Braking now, getting in the turn in. Oh, Eduardo, a little twitch there on the rear end. Not too sure what that's all about. Eduardo running a custom livery for the Brazilian Grand Prix at his home race as well, might I add. So, oh, as he actually goes a little bit wide again, and this is going to allow Eamon a spear. The door is open. Fastest lap from Max as he chases down Mike. Here comes Eamon, looking for second, mainly trying to get some more points for this championship. Around Junkao onto the front straight. Gonna have a brilliant toe. Meanwhile, defending on the straight here, the back straight. Max, could he put a move? No, not this time around. Meanwhile, Klaus and Dylan working together brilliantly for Valhalla to try to take down some drivers ahead. They already got Danny Nasseir. They already got, oh, let's not worry, Eamon! Taps Eduardo sideways! Trying to let him through. He does let him through. So he's good. He doesn't have to necessarily give the position back. Gave up the alluded time there, but now it's clumped up 4 drivers here for the battle for second. Let's look at that rear cam swap to it. There we go. Live here as Regan Milan in the taxi, side by side with Lacey, unable to get a move done that time by. Let's get a look on. Can we see Miro? There we go. Fighting pretty close. Oh, trouble, trouble, trouble. Lacey tapping the Porsche of Regan. Lets him go in the taxi. Fights for another day. Meanwhile, we head up back to this battle, and traffic is already appearing now for Mike Van Doren. Has the forward, gets off the way. He does so, and Adam, fastest lap of the race. We'll keep an eye on that battle with Eamon against Eduardo. But now, here we go, defending on the outside. Now ducks to the back into the racing line. Mike Van Doren, brilliant to hold on, but Max still hunting down for this position. Wants to win this race. I know the German feels it. For Spirit Racing will also put down some big points and will put the Spirit Racing LMP2 team on top. Would it be a sweet day if Spirit Racing can go top of Constructors, LMP2, and GTE? That would be brilliant. We continue this race on. It's a long race here, folks. So sit back and relax, or if you're like me, stay on your feet because action is still very much getting underway. Interesting to note, Christian Ramau struggling with traffic, still cutting his way through as he's actually set the fastest lap of the race, not playing any games. Needs a caution, really. That's the only way he's going to get right back into this race. Battle for 10th now, overall. See how close these guys are getting now. Side by side, Lacey puts it down the inside. A lot more cleaner this time by. Little nose to tail action there. Gets it just about going. Still very close by. Just ahead of them. Eamon putting lots of pressure on Eduardo. Into Junkao, now been a lockup for one of the very few female drivers in CMRSC, but I think that inside line is able to get her a decent advantage as they head into the Senna S's. Now, look at the side of your screen. Those two guys, Mike and Max, are coming up fast to this GTE traffic, but Lacey is going to have a brilliant inside line and going to be able, almost, can she? Yes, she can. Lacey goes up a position, and that is going to mean P4 for her in this one. Eamon continuing to fight on, looking to go against Eduardo. Now, I'm almost certain cautions will come out in this race, so it's going to bring back a lot of these guys into the fray. So it's all about just playing out your strategy. And Peter Sabot getting word now, 36 frames, he cannot drive. And he probably is going to be pulling this one to the pits. And it's going to be such a shame if Peter Sabot is, yeah, he is retired from the Brazilian Grand Prix. So that means going 2 for 2 in championships back-to-back will not happen. Leaders coming up to more traffic, and this time it's Roop Narayan in the Ford. Mike taking it a little bit to the grass. Andrew has to stay to the outside, and that's actually going to compromise Max's turn in. But these LMP2 cars, they don't really need to have the apex to get the corner done pretty swiftly. He has lost about 2/10 though, unfortunately. Back to this fight here. Regan looks like he has an opportunity to get right back onto Lacey. Great fight here between the two. As side by side now, Lacey defends the inside line. Oh, hard on the brakes. And Lacey defending. Regan is the outside for the Senna S's. And Regan Milana gets back the move now for 4th position. So brilliant racing from the two there. Meanwhile, Danny Nasseir is caught up to Klaus Klint. Lacey, can she put a move down the outside? Switches to the inside. Potential for a move into the Interlagos. No, cannot get it done. This is some great racing here as we now watch this battle up here. Danny Nasseir against Klaus for P5 overall. Danny Nasseir wanted to chip away on some more points. A little cut there on the inside. You can see how focused he is, just really trying to nail down his exit as all that goes down. Max has lost a bit of time, and maybe that could be as a result from Kimani maybe getting in the wrong place for Max to go through. Nonetheless, though, still an incredible fight. Switch back to this battle here. And there you see your last lap and what it's looking like. You see Eduardo is a little bit slower in the first 2 sectors, but that 3rd sector belonging to Eduardo. So you can see where the Porsche is the fastest. That's very important to look at for this one. There's your previous 4 laps as well while we're at it. Still very close this race is going to be. What is chat saying? I died at the beginning of the race, spun on the straight into the wall, broke the wing and the suspension. Tires over 100 degrees, gave up. Chaos, just chaos. It's a bit of a shame to see another retirement there. That is, of course, actually, there's a couple of retirements that went down. So Jose, of course, one of those, but Stephen Bola and Miro retiring, and Miro is one of those drivers who I did not expect to retire out of this one, as we now see Christian Ramau coming through. So a bit of a shame that we have lost 4 drivers now. We are now down to just 20, or 19, I will say. So Christian Ramau goes through. Eamon able to fight now once again. And look how close he is onto the front straight. Any chance of getting this move done this time by? Looking for it. He wants it. I know he wants it. Eduardo defends the inside. Here comes Eamon to the outside. Trying to hold on. Can he put down shades? Oh, trouble. Bit of a slide. I didn't see contact there. Unless Eamon is going to lift off. He doesn't. I don't think there was contact. I think the car just bottomed out on the curb. That's a shame there. I think that's Miro in chat there. Hate the track and the setup was not good. That is... that's a bit unfortunate there. Hopefully we can see you in 2 weeks' time for the start of Formula 1. The 2000s Grand Prix Championship. That's a bit of a shame. Was there contact there? I'm reading that there in chat. I'm not too sure. It looked like there was, but at the same time, look at Eduardo struggling when he touches a curb. I wouldn't be shocked if it was just another case of heading into the Senna S, touching that curb a little too much, and it was just trouble from there. Well, we're going to find out if this battle is going to get a bit closer, because Mike Van Doorn's going to have to go through that battle. So this could get very, very intense. Let's find out how this one goes down. On board with Van Doorn. Now, there's the lucky part. If he can clear both of the cars ahead, it would be brilliant first gap. But I think Max is going to be praying that these guys do not play nice and let him go a little early. But we're going to find out right about now. Is he going to... Oh, yeah, he's going to get clogged up here. Goes around the outside, dances. Gets one, and I think that is the best he can do there. For Max, that's going to be easier work. Going to go right around the outside. Get that one done and dusted. But it may be a little bit trouble because Eamon is going to be on the outside here. Dives it down. And Max is going to go through. But compromise on corner exit. These are the same camp. Spirit Racing. Eamon for the GTE, and of course Max for the LMP2. So, very interesting, but one thing's for sure, did not really hamper any of these battles. Now, Ruben Orion up next. Van Doorn takes it down the inside. Ruben Orion has to stay wide. Once again, compromising Max's exits. Wrong place, wrong time. That's honestly it, though. We'll keep an eye on the battle with Eduardo and Eamon, as that gap is pretty close. Just about 6/10 the difference. Same gap you're looking at live here. Fastest lap once again, Christian Ramau. He's finally passed all the GTE cars for position. Now he can start working his way through his main class. We have an hour and 14 minutes left to go in this race. We're getting word from Bola as well. The game is glitching. server said it was unstable and trying to rejoin for a few laps until everybody disappeared. Now, in terms of Steven, he's able to come back out. He's 3 laps down, but he will be getting his laps back if there is a caution that goes down. But so far, it's caution-free. And that's the best thing we can see. Just fun, clean racing. Here comes Van Dorn. He's going to be catching up to your GTE race leader, Daniel Santos. And we're not going to calculate any points this early on because anything and everything can still go down just like that as Van Dorn goes deep. Loses precious time. 3/10 closer as Max. This could be a chance. Any possible opportunity. Slipstreaming now, trying to get as close as possible. You can see the line that he's taken there, Van Dorn. Trying desperately to get away. Fully get it. Oh, look at that bit of a lockup though, however. That is your gap that we're looking at here. 5/10 the difference. Van Dorn desperately defending. Very Nigel Mansell-esque. As soon as you exit the corner, you dart out to the defensive line, and then you slowly drift your way back. It's illegal. And it's a cheeky way of defending, and Mike is pulling every trick in the book to hold on to this lead. But these two guys are pretty evenly matched. Nothing separating them. We can only wonder what Christian Ramal would have been like in this fight. A caution could very easily give us that answer very soon, but we at the same time, we don't know. Meanwhile, this gap gets a little bit closer here. Eduardo struggling through the middle sector, so we're going to find out this time by what's going to go down here. Missing the apex, however. You can see the wind is started to move over as Christian Ramal, fastest lap for him. Eduardo, we look up ahead as fellow countryman. It's down the inside. Oh, it's a late move. Very late, and there's contact between them. Door-to-door action between Eamon and Eduardo, but Eduardo still staying ahead. Desperation coming down to Eamon. He wants this move. Looks again to get to Junkow. We cannot. What a close fight this is. Meanwhile, we also look at the battle for the race lead. And in fact, it gets a little bit closer as they head to Decina del Lago. But on the front straight now, Eduardo still holding on. Does not need to defend this time out. And this is a great bit of racing here at Interlagos. We wanted to return here for this race. Ever since we saw it in F1, we saw it as well in the LMP2 series. It's just absolutely incredible racing between all these guys. Oh, I hear an LMP2. Who is that? It's Dylan. Oh, look at him. Slicing through this GTE pack. And Dylan up through now, and he's about 20 seconds down on Adam. And honestly, at this point, he needs a caution of his own if he wants to try to catch back up to the pack. It's going to be very hard to do it on track under green flag conditions. Or could pit stop strategies allow him to go through? Remember, almost every race so far, Trouble, actually, hold on before we continue. Max brought out some yellow flags. He went deep on Junkow and unfortunately has lost so much time. Running deep, that is probably the dirty air playing a big part in that fight. Has lost him some precious time. And you look on the map as they head into the ZS's of turn 1 and 2. He's going to need another bit of traffic to try to get Van Dorn to get a bit closer. Another opportunity now for Eamon. Can he get closer this time? And indeed there, chat saying really wants to get this overtake. Couldn't say it better myself. Slipstream once again, but look at the Porsche. It's brilliantly set up. You know, anybody who's a fan of Formula One who watched the sprint race qualifying and sprint qualifying, you know that low downforce setups are no joke. But at the same time, it compromises your turn-ins, your corner speeds, entries, and exits because you got to slow down so much more. But once you're on the straight, you are a rocket ship. We see it in Formula One, currently going on for the Belgium Grand Prix. We're seeing it right now. Eduardo making this car brilliant. But as for Eamon, no matter what he does, he needs to not only pass him, but pass him in a part of the circuit that he can get the inside part of the track and break the toe. He flashes his headlights, turning in, wants to get this position on as soon as possible. Feeling the pain now, goes for a surprise dive down the inside once again. Nowhere near, has to hang around the outside if he can of the inside for the next corner, but it's just way too difficult. Through the left-hander, now he gets the right-hander. Eduardo's gonna go wide. No, he doesn't. Sees Eamon trying to go for a move, cheeky down the inside, putting his nose down in. This is amazing racing for a championship here. Incredible fighting. Take a look. This is what your championship looks like. Let's just swap over to it really quickly. There you go. Eamon and Eduardo. You may not know, but they're fighting for a championship right now. And truly, it's a winner-take-all scenario. Santos in the lead. He's going to have an 8-point advantage. Is it 8 points? 7 points, my mistake. A 7-point advantage where he finishes. So let's just swap over to the main feed just to show you guys for an example. So even though Daniel is not going to be able to win this championship, it creates a real panic for these two here who are fighting for one. Because Eamon in the lead with 53 points, followed by Eduardo's 47. So it's only a 3-point difference. But Eamon would like to put the pressure on more with Eduardo. As it stands right now, Eamon should be in the clear. As down the inside once again, heard the lockup. Ooh, it's getting close. Anything could bring out a caution as well if these two guys have a very big crash. Now, also with VSCs, we're not going to just bring them out if we see two cars go off the circuit, if their crash goes into the grass. The only time we're going to do that is if we see a car on its roof, and yes, that happens more than you think when I say that. But this could very much bring out a caution if these guys get closer. You hear the aggression. You could clearly see how aggressive Eamon is trying to get this move done, constantly giving pressure to Eduardo, the newcomer here. Eamon, as he goes around the outside, can he hold on this time? If the door is open, he doesn't take it, wants to line it up for the back straight. Still, can anything be done with this battle here? We go on board with a Porsche. It's going to have the legs to hold on, but the slipstream, it may help Eamon. Looks to the inside, cannot get it done. And Eamon looks to the inside, hugs over the sausage curb. It's incredible racing for a championship, but Eamon might have the opportunity now. Side by side, heading to the uphill right-hander, switches, looks to the inside. Eamon Assetto trying to get him, trying to get Eduardo. Eduardo having to look to the outside, cannot hold on. Eamon Assetto gets it. Meanwhile, Danny Nasseir wants to get through, could potentially block an apex for both of these guys. Defends it. There you see how close Eduardo gets. 3 cars altogether. Eamon's gonna be like, Danny, get a move on now! Because Eduardo doing everything he can to get him through. Danny staying back though. It allows Eduardo a better exit. Now they're gonna get a better slipstream. You're gonna see that LMP2 fly right past your screen into the outside. And now Danny, he swipes to the inside. There we go, he goes through. Eamon put a little to the outside of the circuit. Danny gets through. A little tough. That was pretty scary as Danny now going to start exiting this fight here. Eamon gets through. Eamon Assetto up to 9th. 9th being second. Second being the points he needs to continue holding on to this championship lead. You cannot get better racing than this. This is what Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club is all about. This is true, clean battles all the way to the checkered flag. We still have just over an hour of racing. If you love the action, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 2,000 subscribers. Now, if Eduardo finishes ahead of Eamon, that would mean, as Christian Romao gets into the picture, same spot Danny did, Eduardo will still be 3 points behind. Now, wisely, Eduardo letting Christian go through. I'm going to try to swap over and look at the intervals. Romao to the outside and gets going. It's going to put Eamon awkwardly. Oh, little bit of a twitch there. And trying to hustle through, Christian Romao goes. And that actually helps Eduardo because not the best of exits for Eamon. Now, here comes Eduardo back to the inside. Oh, he takes it to the pits. Got to get it slowed down. Cannot afford a drive-through penalty. That's the line. Gets it to 80. And now we can get a pit stop. This is going to get interesting. Regan also in for a stop. So GTE's coming in. This is going to get very intriguing now. Eamon is going to have some fresh air. He's going to be free for now, but with worn tires, strategy is going to come into the play. So yes, like I said, even if Eduardo finishes ahead of Eamon, if they're second and third, Eduardo finishing second, Eamon in third, it's not going to matter. Eamon will still win the championship by just 3 points. The only way this goes down, Eamon's got to finish 2 positions behind, or Eduardo's got to win this thing at home. It's pressure. It's pure pressure for the Brazilian at home and in his first championship where he could win it. He took victory back out at Imola. And he knows a thing or two about keeping this one through. He is one of only 4 drivers, one of 3 others, Eamon, Daniel, and Peter, who have completed every round and now coming into this one. Here comes Santos. Believe he might be coming in this lap. Is he? No, he's not. Clearly saved the fuel. Thank you for the comments on the leaderboard. Yes, the CMRT Broadcasting Hub. It is the greatest thing in existence. I love it so much. And yeah, you get to see things like this as Christian Romao takes the fastest lap of the race as he goes through. Now, unfortunately for this battle here, it might have to come down to a strategy because Max has started to back off and Mike, fastest lap. However, we did say it a handful of laps ago that it's all going to come down to Mike catching up to traffic again if Max wants a chance at catching up back, and he's already caught up to Eamon Esbear. However, a lot of ways to go. Now, hide that cursor. Yeah, so the only negative part, just being a little nerd here, we're streaming on 2 PCs, so I got a laptop streaming right now with the capture card, so it does not hide the mouse. That's the only negative thing about doing a dual PC. So, yeah, that's apologies for that. There's nothing I could do there right now, but we're going to try our best to see if we can sort out all those kind of things. Meanwhile, let's continue to focus on those pit stops because Ilham, Paulo coming in. Keimani Nyung also in, debut driver here in the BMW. As your race leader, Daniel Santos, who, because he has a great lead out there, he's been able to just keep it cool. Fastest lap for Mike, 23.4 against a 32.7. You see how close those fastest times are in another dimension. They're very far apart. You can hide it if you close your eyes. Unfortunately, if you do that, you're not going to be able to see the rest of the action. And I think for a race like this, you got to keep your eyes peeled. Take a look at this. Danny Nasseir, he's actually 4 seconds down on Christian Romao as he just gets past Andrew Ruben Orion, currently sitting P6. Let's look back up the order. Eamon now in for his pit stop. So eyes are going to be on Eduardo as he is on the front straight. This is going to be your big race out here. Now, look at that, still in the pits. Take a look at the number 5 on your map. Coming up fast. Now Eamon is at the key of the pits, so he's going to be just on the exit. Actually, he was more in the middle of the pits. So it's going to be pretty close here. There's Eduardo, but inside line is going to go for Eamon. It's going to be pretty close on exit. Is it? Maybe a little bit slower. There you can kind of see the roof of the Ferrari. Full beats now for the Porsche. Can he get close? Or has Eamon got a convincing gap? He does. The gap, 3 seconds. So the overcut staying out for Eamon, working brilliantly and has allowed him to stay ahead of this fight with a gap as well. That may be the strategy to watch for when we look at the LMP2s when they come in for their stops. Now, one thing to note, when you look at the time left in the race and when the LMP2s pit, if they pit before 45 minutes left, they cannot make it to the end. But if they can pit after the 45-minute mark left to go in the race, they'll be able to make it on a one-stop. So yes, 1 hour to go as Eduardo over fuel. It looks heavy. Honestly, watching Eduardo throughout this race, it could be a strategy setup. It could be set up because every time he goes over a curb on the inside, it just gets very unsettled. You can see he's avoiding all of them. Even sometimes the exit curbs, it's just not helping for him whatsoever. Nonetheless, though, we continue with 58 minutes left to go in this championship. Mike Van Doorn, as it stands right now, has this one in the bag, has the championship in his grasps, because Christian Ramau, after a crash on the back straight, we don't know if it was any fault of his own or not. Nonetheless, though, it's put him on the ultimate back foot. And it's a winner-take-all between Christian and Mike, or whoever finishes ahead between them. Christian needs to pray to the sim racing gods that there is a caution that comes out very, very soon, or sometime in this race, if he wants a chance at this championship, because as it stands, there's no way he can win it. But I don't want to give him too much negative, because at the same time, he's been able to catch up. He's already 5th. And he's got a bit of a gap to go. It's a long race, so lots of work to put out. Lots of gaps already opened up, though, throughout this one. But I think it's time we start to go through all the drivers here for today's race and the final race for this one. Starting off with Andrew Rup-Narain, making his grand return. We've not really seen him, I don't think, ever in this championship. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Rup-Narain, either this is his first or second race in this one. Piloting the Logitech Ford GT, one of his best liveries he's put out here. Saw the guy back last week out as Christian Ramau sets his fastest lap. He's been feeling very confident and eager to get right back into sim racing again. He's been very deep into iRacing's oval scene. So, still staying in the sim racing picture as Van Doorn takes right back the fastest lap. Kasper Tetsuyaki gets a drive-through for cutting the course. He's sitting P13 overall. That's not going to help his race whatsoever. So that's Andrew Rup-Narain. Let's go to P16. Ilham Lesmana. Nothing too much is said really here for Ilham. Steven in chat, I did miss it a long time ago. Same thing again, doesn't make sense to race like this. Ping is high. Kasper also messaging here. Kasper is also retiring out of this one. Bad headache, and the curse of everyone retiring at Interlagos continues now for a third race here. We had it back at LMP2. We had it again at we had it at World Endurance. We had it at the Formula 1 World Championship. Lots of crashes there as well. And unfortunately, Kasper Tetsuyaki having a little bit of issues in the car. Not feeling the best. So, yes, if you have to retire out there, you do not need permission, that's for sure. If you're not feeling well, get some rest, man. And we hope to see you in 2 weeks' time. Hopefully more refreshed for another bit of racing and a lot more shorter racing. This is the longest ever race we've ever done in CMRC. 90 minutes. We've never done 90 minutes. The most we've done is an hour, 60 minutes only. So an extra 30 minutes still beating in some pressure with these guys. Just to put in perspective, LMP2's under full green flag racing expected for, well, a grand total of 66 laps. So a lot of laps around here at Interlagos. Nonetheless, though, we hope to see a lot of those guys who retire out here for the next championship for the Grand Prix Series. P14, Anderson Baiano, didn't see him in qualifying, just like at Road America, joined up for the race, but with that safety car at the midpoint of the race. It allowed Anderson to get right back into this one, and he was able to finish 4th at the end where the checkered flag was raised. A little bit of a slide, however, gets it held on. Sits P14 overall in this one. Needs to start to get a move on as we actually have a battle here. And Adam has caught up to Max. And this is very interesting. I also love seeing 90 minutes of racing, and we're definitely going to keep a chat with the guys in Discord. Oh, trouble. Hold on there. Heart was raised for a moment. That was Ruben Ryan. Got it wrong. But here comes Anna. Adam does it down the inside of Junkao. One of his racing idols, Lewis Hamilton. So he's gonna know that corner is very familiar. Unless you're a fan of Felipe Massa, then it's just Nightmare City. Regardless, though, Adam, easy work on that one as Max comes in for his pit stop. And remember what I said not too long ago. If they couldn't make it to the 45-minute mark, it's a 2-stop race. Oh, and Andrew gets a drive-through for cutting the course. So Max coming in for his pit stop. That leaves Mike with a larger lead, and we're going to find out if the overcut continues, staying out longer. Adam is going to do that, but Adam was able to get the move done already from a slow-moving Max there. Maybe just trying to save fuel as much as possible. 16 seconds is the gap from Adam and Mike, which was essentially the same thing with Max and Mike. So now we're just awaiting more pit stops to come in. The LMP2s are on completely fixed setup, so the only way you're saving fuel is lift and coast and not pushing as hard. So these guys are going to be coming in within the next 2 laps. Lap or 2, I will say. Let's see what Van Dorn does. Stays out. So swap over now to Anna. And we'll continue with our full race rundown. But yes, as I was continuing on, I also love seeing 90 minutes of racing. We're going to have a chat with the guys, and we're going to see if, they want more 90 minutes of racing. Next up is Grand Prix racing. It's going to be 45 minutes roughly, 45 minutes in laps for 2000s, early 2000s Formula One. So that's going to be very fun. We're going to be racing at circuits such as Suzuka, Indianapolis, Silverstone, Barcelona, and the first round, Sepang. And to add, these are all classic configurations of the circuit. So we're going to see an old-looking Suzuka, even though the layout is not really that much different. One layout is different. Indianapolis and Barcelona, those are going to be 2 circuits to really have some fun with as we head to Suzuka and Catalunya for the first times in CMRC history. Very interesting. We've never been to Japan before, specifically Suzuka. Meanwhile, Adam cutting through some Porsches here. Can't afford to lose any time because remember, he's on the back foot of this strategy here because Max has got some fresh tires. And he's, interestingly, right next to Mike Van Dorn. Has Mike Van Dorn already made his pit stop? Or was there some sort of trouble? He's actually a lap down? Oh, he is a lap down. So that's how big of a gap that Van Dorn built. So he's going to be looking up ahead and being like, finally, I see the race leader, but he's a whole lap behind. 31 seconds? Actually, I'm not too sure. I'm not too sure if that's the leaderboard. Doing something there. Oh, trouble. Danny Nasseir in the wall. Oh, trouble! What was that? That was a jump scare there. Danny Nasseir was on 2 wheels. What in the world just happened to Danny? I think that would have been a caution. I think if I caught that just a second earlier, that could have been a caution unless he was in the pits, maybe? What in the world was that? That was... Oh, and Ruben Ryan disqualified. He did not take the drive-through penalty. Remember, he had a cut track penalty. He's done. Ruben Ryan is out of the Brazilian Grand Prix. That is, wow, everything's kicking off. In every single race in this championship, there's always a specific point at the midway that everything goes off. Roop Narine pulls over. He's done. He's out. Andrew Roop Narine has retired from the Brazilian Grand Prix, and that is a huge shame. He didn't take his drive-through. Why did he not take his drive-through? Meanwhile, Danny is back out, but back out probably a lap down because he found himself on almost his roof, it looked like, in the pits. And that is everything going down here. But just to further confirm, yes, Christian Ramal is a lap down from Mike Van Dorn. So if anybody was wondering, look how close he got. No, he is not. So that is now, unfortunately, we've lost a couple more drivers. Kasper Tezayaki, of course, we know, but Klaus Klint also retiring out of this one. So we're down to 5 LMP2s. And we're down to 9 GTEs. So that's what endurance racing is. You got to make sure your machine and your body, your mindset can go to the very end of these races. Now, also interesting to note, Max coming in very early. Does that mean Mike Van Dorn can come in now, or has he saved enough fuel to potentially pull off a one-stop? I don't know, but what I do know is that Van Dorn has a real dominant lead out here. Going for back-to-back LMP2 wins here at this very circuit in particular. Last time we were here in LMP2s, last year for the LMP2 World Endurance Spec Series Championship. So once again, huge upset for some of those who did retire out for this final round. But nonetheless, though, we still have about 15 competitors left as they head on and continue this race with 47 minutes left to go. Just about entering the halfway point. And there's an LMP Racing GTE for position. Danny Nasseir teleporting to the pits and falling backwards. Actually, 6 LMP2s if I said 5. It's 6 LMP2s. Yeah, Danny had to teleport to the pit, so he's now down a lap and now in the mix of the rest of the field there as Anna Adam takes it to the pits. That's going to allow Moranti to go through, and they can see how fast Anna Adam is against Dylan. Two different breeds of drivers there. And how much effort and time these guys have been pushing in. Here comes your race leader. So, to put in perspective, here's P2, who's just exited Sector 1. So, Van Dorn is going to have a nice, clean, swift pit stop here, even if it's a little slow. He has time to spare. Gets in for his box, and he does so. And we're getting word from Root Ryan. Didn't notice he did have a drive-through. Saw it too late, but it sucks, and just wasn't a fan of the setup on the Ford. So it's a bit of a shame that he retires out for this final race. So Arm Racing out of it. And he joins us in the chat. Welcome. Is that Mads on Anna's roof? I think it is. Let me just look at the top here. Is it? Or is it Mike? I think it's Mike. Oh, trouble. Was that because maybe just because I think I looked at my car in the pits. Yeah, it might be. Mads' face? I believe so, as here comes Van Dorn. Now exiting out, and Dylan is also going to come in. And is that him? I'm not too sure. It's somebody, but clearly it's working for this championship. So there goes Anna and Max. They both go past. Their pit stops are complete, and both of them are going to be battling for position. Van Dorn at the moment still looking strong for a 5th title in CMRSC. It is? Oh, wow, it is. That is hilarious. As for the GTE class, Eamon still looking like that favorite to win this championship in his 3rd attempt. So we're going to get a 5-time champion and a first-time champion here. It's going to be very awesome. As Dylan's still in the pits and now finally gets out. So let's continue, shall we, with looking through all the drivers, and let's go down to our next one, Keimani. So Keimani joining us here for his first race of this championship and his first race in CMRSC. The Frenchman, we haven't seen a French driver since Formula 4 back in 2024. And we're happy to see another driver join us here in CMRSC. And if you're looking to join as well, if you're one of the 18 concurrent viewers who would like to get in on the action, join our Discord. It's linked right in the chat, pinned up there, and it's also in the description. Get in with us, completely free to race. Just make sure you have Assetto Corsa and all the DLC with it, and you're good to go. And DLC for AC can be as cheap as about 5 US, 10 US. So get in on the action if you haven't already, and join our Discord. We've also crossed 1,000. Andrew, you should join. We've just crossed 1,000 members in the server. That's absolutely insane. We started this thing 4 years ago. We're going to come up to CMRC's 4th birthday. CMRC, 4 years old. Can you believe it, and how far we've been through? If you just take a look at the channel, just look at the oldest videos and streams we put up, we've truly come a long, long way from where we began. But nonetheless, though, enough about CMRC. Join us, but if not, we hope you enjoy all the racing here, and we hope we can earn a subscription from you and a like, as you're on course for 2,000 subscribers. Next up, Lacey Fancher. So she is she's of course working hard for the GTE standings and trying to keep her team on top. P2 and P6. Lacey, of course, she was very close with Eamon early on in this one. And so far, she's currently sitting P6. Nothing too much to write home about. She was one of those drivers to watch in the early stages of this race, but nothing could be done at this point now. She's kind of just in a race of her own. So following up now, we have P5 here, Paulo Ladino, home race for him. Paulo currently sitting in the mid-pack, exact middle ground. P5 has a bit of a ways to go, a long way to try to catch up to the man who currently sits P4, who's pretty close on to P3, Regan Milana. You see him. And just to take a look how close that gap is, 2.8 seconds, almost 3 seconds the gap. Regan, the taxi, returns here in CMRSC. We're glad to see him join us again. We haven't seen him since round 1 at Belgium, so we're always happy to get him coming back with us. Up to P3 now, just up the road, Eduardo, fighting for this championship. However, he needs Eamon to finish 2 spots behind him, but as it stands, he's cruising for a P2. It's going to be a little hard to just think about. So I know it's all he's thinking about right now is just focusing close on what he's doing on track and just looking just that bit ahead up the road, because 8 seconds ahead, on some straights, he can see this man. Eamon Nasseir, the Italian, who back at Fuji was close, but not close enough. Got taken out at the final race. Then we had to TCR. He did put himself in points with a points gap that was possible calculation-wise, but unfortunately, he was not able to win that one that day. And now this time, he leads the GTE standings with 40 minutes left to go, and he's looking for this one. And maybe third time is the charm. And then we go up to P1, Daniel Santos, who was yet to make race victory in this championship, and for the final one, he can finally get it done. He'll move up some spots, but maybe a P3 finish at the end of this one. That's your GTE class. Let's look at LMP2. Starting off with Danny Nasseir. Weird incident in the pits not too long ago has set his progress backwards, and he's now 2 laps down and needs a caution to come out if he wants to get right back in this race. Danny Nasseir, one of those drivers who will watch every driver retire around him and just pick up the pieces, and because of that, he's been able to gain lots and lots of points. Because of that, he currently sits mid-pack in the points. P4. Up next, Dylan Moranti. He is subbing in for Jaden Harrison, who was able to make the first race, was able to... almost able to show up for the second race, but unfortunately has sat this one out. Giving the keys now to Dylan, and Dylan is piloting that car to the checkered flag finally for this last time, and very happy to see Dylan come back and race with us. P4, Christian Ramau, your main competitor in for this championship against Mike Van Dorn, but sitting P4, well, after an incident at the very beginning, it may have sealed his deal at the end of this one. It's been his luck throughout this championship, but I'm not going to give it totally game over for him because it's still 38 minutes left to go. Anything and everything can still go down here in this race. P3, as he overtakes the Brazilian of Eduardo, Maximilian Fleer, who was on pace with Mike Van Dorn, but not just traffic, but just consistency-wise, Mike has just been a little bit better than Max. And because of that, Max has actually fallen backwards against Anna Adam, who took race victory last week out at Road America. And Adam looking to try to fight for P1, 16 seconds. And is he closing? Last lap for Mike Van Dorn. I mean, let's actually just take a look right here. There's your last lap here. And last 4 laps. And the difference. So you can see Adam, he's on the bubble. There are laps where he's faster, but the rest of the laps, he's not fast enough. So he's got a little bit of ways to go for him. Either way, though, Adam is going to work hard. He's going to try to get this one as close as possible to Mike. If a caution were to come out, it's going to be even more helpful. So we'll see how it looks coming to the end of this one. But there is your race leader, your overall race leader, and the man who's gunning for a 5th championship in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club, Mike Van Dorn. It was not fully in a masterclass of his own. He had a lot of work to do to open up this lead. But in the early stages, it was the heavy pressure that Max was putting on him. But he's overcome that all, and now he has a beautiful lead now. As Adam catching up to a Falcon Shift driver of Ilham, who's actually going to block his corner exit. And he's going to be throwing up his hands, being like, what the hell, man? Get out my way. I'm trying to close up to Mike, and you are not helping. But that's your gap that we're looking at there. 16 seconds in 36 minutes. They're both pretty identical. And like I said, the only thing that is going to help out is a caution. But it's been green flag racing all throughout this one. Beautiful green flag racing. We should be seeing the GTE cars start to peel in as we do now. And there is one of them, Eduardo, coming in for his stop. May have one more stop left to go in this one. Coming towards the end of this race. But getting his pit stop going, fresh new tires, and back on circuit. For another round here. So we'll see what he can do. As Alana's... I wonder who Alana is. Just reading there in chat. There you see Dylan just passing by Eduardo. Dylan, I will say, I've shared teams with him in iRacings more recently. What did we do? I remember we've done Petite Le Mans in the prototype hypercar class, so I know he's very quick in some hypercars, but these are LMP2s, so they're a little bit different. Nonetheless, though, he does know how to operate them. Autocorrected his name, fair enough. If you haven't heard, though, CMRSC and Thrustmaster. Yes, if you're looking for any Thrustmaster products, head to their official... Oh, trouble! Lacey. Oh, and Dylan got a drive-through for it. Gets back going. Lacey, trouble for her. Miscommunication. Unlapping. Or should I say, just trying to go through. Through Junkao. And I think it was a matter of fact that Lacey was just trying to get out the way. Dylan following through, and unfortunately he's just made him go backwards there, and Dylan's gonna swiftly go through the pits. As there we see Danny Nasseir. Next up, he's gonna pass is Santos, and he'll be back with the main pack. But that was a bit of a heart attack right there. Very scary. Nonetheless, though, yes, if you're looking for any Thrustmaster products, as we look at the Thrustmaster car right here on Danny Nasseir, you can save 10% off on the official Thrustmaster store by using code CMRSC. That's CMRSC on checkout, and you'll save 10% off your order. And all affiliation goes right back into the league to help us grow and have more amazing events just like this. So thank you once again for Thrustmaster the opportunity to join and be in your amazing affiliate program. As we continue this race on, 33 minutes left to go. Maybe you might be sitting down right now, sitting back, maybe having this race on a different monitor, a different tab even. Well, I hope if my voice gets a little excited, you might... it might be because there is drama that goes off. And one thing you may want to tap back in if you haven't already, Eduardo and Regan Milana now in a fight for a position. Specifically, this is your battle for fourth. As Apollo up ahead, it still has to make a pit stop, so it's going to shuffle up to the battle for third. Now, Regan has an opportunity for a move here. Let's go on board here with Regan as they head into the turn-in. On corner exit, Eduardo using all the exit available to him as Dylan goes through. Remember, he had a drive-through. And he is going to hog the apex from Eduardo. Going to slow him down just a bit. Not going to help him out. Just behind them, Lacey. Going to be in this fight as Christian Romao, fastest lap. 123.099. No fastest lap points in this one. There will be fastest lap points in the next race. That being the next championship, of course. But take a look at this. Porsche against Porsche. 10th overall. Let's see how this one goes down. Round Junkao. Let's go on board once again. Regan. You're going to see a telemetry on the bottom right of your screen as he looks for a position. But that car up there, Eduardo, has set it up great. He's done a great job with the setup, I will say. But look how close Regan gets through the Senna S's. Little tap on the sausage curb on the inside for good luck. And spits right back out. Folks, we're entering into the final 30 minutes of this championship, of this race. As Adam is going to go right through these guys. And Max is not too far behind. So Adam's going to want to get a move on as soon as possible. And Max is going to want to pass everybody here as soon as possible as well. Another spot here. Eduardo has to let through. Same part. But there you see the Canadian just exiting out there of the corner. We get to watch back here as, ooh, look how close this is getting here. Little contact. Regan just touching the rear end of Eduardo. And now it's getting a little bit personal now. Eduardo really having to fight off some violent battles. But one thing's for sure, he's one of the best defenders. This is one of the best Brazilian defenses I've ever seen. So now as they head onto the front straight again, the setup in that Porsche is going to continue to fly on. Regan's going to tuck in for the slipstream. Personal best for Dylan, 124.664. Sixth gear. 260 across the line. In the T1, you can see how wide Eduardo goes. And it's just washed out a little bit in the one. into 2. You see how hard Regan hits that curb. You may think it unsettles the car, but in fact, it just nails him closer. Eduardo hugging the inside. Now a chance. Can we see Regan put a move down the inside? No, not this time. Fastest lap again, Christian Romao. As we still continue to watch this battle, your closest battle we have on track, between Regan and Eduardo. Once again, this is where contact was made the last time. You saw how close Regan got. Can he get closer? A lot better of an exit. Maybe to the inside. No, not this time. Back on the loud pedal. To the left-hander, Eduardo, a little wide as they enter into Junção. You see a wider entry there for Eduardo, trying to nail down the straight. He does so. A lot of curb used, however. And now, following, nose to tail. Okay, we see another position go down here. Let's see. Nah, a little too far back. Feeling like Porsche Cup around here. Into T1 once again. And still, this gap is close. Who is going to take this one between these two? This is, of course, now with Paulo already pitting, your battle for P3. An incredible bit of racing between these two competitors in CMRSC. And honestly, the future. These are two future prospects of the league. Eduardo especially, after getting a race win in his first championship. Second race, I believe. He is one of those to watch out for in this one. Is now Regan. Oh, look how close he gets. He sees it. He gets a nose onto the outside, but it's just the nature of this circuit. It's just way too difficult to get any sort of move. Now to Junção, taking a note from Regan. Taking a note from Eduardo last lap. Regan to the outside of Junção, trying to get a better move. Not really helping, though. That setup is just brilliant on the front straight again. So still this battle continues. But now, into turn 1 again. Regan's going to have to go for a surprise dive if he wants this one. Because as it stands, Eduardo is just putting his car in the best places. So look how smooth both of them. You can barely fit a paperclip of how close they're getting to that sausage curb out of turn 2. Now 5/10, it opens up briefly. But then Regan, just able, he's closing that gap. Christian Romao going for a fastest lap here. Another fastest lap. He's purple in the first sector. We're going to watch him on board. And actually, I say that. He's actually coming up to this battle here. Let's take a look at this. Here he comes. Actually, ahead of him is Danny Nasseir. So they're going to both come up to this battle. Danny is, of course, blue flags for Christian Romao. And so, oh, is it going to be settled here? Danny's going to back off. Christian's going to come through now. Oh, it's close. Oh, trouble. Gets it going. He does. And coast is clear. Eduardo, very far. That was a bit of a hiccup there. Was there a bit of contact between himself and Danny Nasseir trying to go through? I think there might have been. Yeah, I do agree. That was a bit of a WTF moment there. Was Danny trying to go through? Yeah, I think Danny made contact with Eduardo. Yes, he has. Yeah, so that's bad news for that, for Danny Nasseir. Trying to look to the inside, but the door looks like it probably wasn't open enough, and That has left Eduardo insult to injury. Behind now, and Regan ahead, free of charge. So that's a bit of a shame there, that's for sure. Meanwhile, look how close this is. Max starting to feel himself now, and he's reeling in slowly at Adam. 2 seconds the difference. See, Keimani just getting out the way. Onto the back straight now. Once again, no need for a caution. And we are down the final 24 minutes. So on board here as Max continues to nail down these apexes, still trying to close up. Next up in line is the Ferrari up ahead, Spirit Racing driver Lacey Fancher. You know, one of the things leading up to today's race that we talked about, is there going to be one of those is that Gluck kind of moments heading to the end of this one. Now, it would be crazy. Still thinking, what was that contact? Totally agreed, yes. Definitely a miscommunication there from Danny. Just trying to go through, or maybe it looked like Eduardo was leaving the space. It was very, very messy. Of course, we are unable to have a replay of it. Hopefully in the future, there will be a development to have some replays here, because our old system kicks us out the servers, so it's not helpful. That's for sure. But nonetheless, though, we still hope that we can get a replay system very soon, as Christian Ramau enters pit lane. And this should be his final pit stop of the race. Remember, he's a pretty off sync with the field ahead, because he had to pit after lap 1. Something that Miro had to do, but Miro has retired because of that. So in for his stop. And this gap continues now. So yeah, I really hope we can get some instant replays, if you will, very soon in CMRSC. Either way, we continue this one. 21 minutes, 20 seconds to go. And this race, yes, has gotten pretty quiet. As, Ramau on pit exit, side by side with the race leader, but of course a lap car. So Christian has to fall in line, and fall in line with a grudge, knowing that the gap that should be looked at right now between Mike and Christian should be this battle for the championship. There's a winner take all, and, well, it all went down on the back straight of lap 1. And unfortunately, it costed Christian Ramau. We still don't know what happened, why it happened. We just have to look at it in the debrief. But if I remember correctly, there potentially was a bit of contact with Dylan and Christian and Adam at the same time, so... But once again, not gonna hold a cup to what did go on there. But regardless, though, 20 minutes left to go in this race, as Christian Ramau trying to get himself unlapped, interestingly, and I think Van Doren's gonna let him. Yes, he does. So Christian Ramau, fresh tires, alternate strategy. Mike Van Doren's like, I'm not fighting you. Whoa. I thought he made contact with something. Van Doren, very awkward twitch in the car. Looks fine. Oh, wow, it's corner exit on the curbs. Very slippery for him. A very scary moment there for him. He still holds on to the lead as he passes Eduardo. But yes, continuing on here now. Those are your gaps behind the leader. Adam has put that gap down to 8 seconds, but 19 minutes left to go. It's going to be tough. But Van Doren is very much in traffic paradise. You see a lot of grass there on the exit of the final corner onto the front straight. You can kind of see it better on board. There you see it. Patch of grass that's not going to be the best view for drivers coming up to it. Still though, this race continues, and we're still awaiting the checkered flag being dropped down for this one. Definitely a lot more of a cleaner race than we had in Interlagos back for the Formula 1 World Championship. That was your penultimate round a couple months ago. Cody Lawrence was not there that day. Cody Lawrence being our one of our drivers that we watch in open wheel. He's one of the fastest, and he's going to be back driving a Minardi. So that's going to be very exciting to see him return once again. Lots of other drivers eager. Ada is open wheel merchant, I will say. Loves his downforce. That's why at last he's driving in the LMP2 class. So expect a lot of great racing in 2 weeks' time. We're going to be taking a week break next week. So we are going to be doing some daily uploads until Thursday, I believe. That is when we're going to take our content break. So tomorrow, we're going to get our must-see highlight of this race. And I definitely think that must-see is going to go to Eduardo against Eamon early on in this race. That's for sure. Then after that, we get our qualifying highlights. So highlight reel. That's actually going to be on the Tuesday, because Monday we're going to be dropping the trailer for the championship. So just to ease up the confusion from all the words I just said, tomorrow it's the must-see highlight of today's race. Monday it's the trailer for the 2000s Grand Prix Series. Tuesday we're going to be getting our highlights of qualifying. Wednesday will be our pole position on boards. And that is just about going to do it for content until we return back in another week for our race week preview. Try saying that fast 5 times. Race week preview. A little difficult. But yes, lots of content to come up here on the CMRSC network. So we hope you can stick with us, and then we're going to take a small content break, and we'll be back with more. The Open Wheel Championship will begin a long stint of weeks of racing all the way to Christmas. I am not even kidding. We're going to have weekly racing every single week. Back to back, all the way till the winter break. Where the rest of our championships are basically confirmed with Race of Champions beginning in November. That's the playoffs. But regardless, though, that is a long ways away. And right now, we still have a race to watch here. As Van Doren passes by probably the other next future champion. Apologies for that. The next future champion in line there just behind him. As Dylan sets a personal best. 124.192. Mike Van Doren, Eamon, look to be your champions here today. But still, as we watch here, take a look at this. 1.4. The difference. Let's go on board with Max now. Looks like traffic wasn't nice to Adam, and is now close up this gap. Heading into Junção now, gap very close. Between them. Just to put in perspective how close this championship was. Christian Ramau, P4. The gap is just over 10 points. And it really was that incident at the very start that costed him big time in this championship. Well, it's a bit of a shame for what went down here today for him. Nonetheless, though, Christian's going to continue pushing on. I'm going to hope that there's a caution. Max, as he's cutting through the order. Now, there is a rule that the final 8 minutes, it is caution-free. So despite the biggest of crashes, it'll be complete caution-free for the final 8 minutes because there's just not enough time for the unlapping process. So the drivers have just a little bit more time before this thing is set in stone, where it's just going to be anybody who makes a mistake at that point seals the deal. So as it stands right now, Mike Van Dorn would win the championship with 77 points, followed by Max, who would overtake Christian. He'll have 64, followed by Christian's 56. A bit of a sad end, but we're very happy for an amazing race in this championship. As Lacey in the pits for her final stop. A lot more GT cars will be coming in at that time. So keep an eye on that as now a little bit closer. This gap is 2.1. And Max is really pushing, so we might get ourselves a grandstand finish for P2. We hope there is, at least. Meanwhile, into the braking zones as the sun comes down here in Sao Paulo. Gap just about increasing there. 2.3. Now down 2.2. Also have another car ahead. I think that's the BMW of Yes Kemani. Gonna want to stay to the outside. Sun coming down here. Beautiful dive there. Great lunge. Max may have an easier run. Oh, trouble! Trouble for Adam. On the grass a little too much. That's going to allow Max a lovely run closer. 1.2, also slipstream. That's what Max needs. Just those little mistakes. This one could get tight. So, still a close battle to watch. Open up a little bit, 1.5. Still some tough racing here. But if it stays like this for the GTE class, at least, Eamon wins this one by 71 points. With 71 points, followed by Daniel's 64. Eduardo's 48. And added up Regan's points, who's going to jump up to 4th with 43. But still, good bit of racing left to go. 191 overall views for this race here today. Thank you so much again for all the support. As this battle gets just that more closer, Santos in the way. And Adam did not have a good exit. Again, Christian Ramau gets the fastest lap of the race. But eyes are on this battle here. It's under a second, and Adam is struggling at the exit of Jung Kao for the second time in a row. It's hurting his laps. One second the difference. Now, keep in mind, these guys are both running identical setups. All drivers in the LMP2 class, it's a complete fixed setup. You can only change tire pressures, brake bias, the traction control, and fuel. Ooh, hard on that sausage curb there from Adam. Maybe feeling the pressure. Can he get up to P2 in this one, or will Max take him down? Look at him stretching. 4th gear. But Adam looks a little bit quicker in this first sector. 17.3 against a 17.7, just to be exact, and he has pulled up closer. Next bit of traffic they're going to be looking at is P11 of Eduardo. And then 6 seconds from Adam to the race leader. And this one could get tight, but that was also because Mike had to go through a handful of traffic. 6 seconds, and we're counting it down. 55 seconds. If there's no part of a caution coming out, that's it. And Max takes it to the pits. So undercut time. Can Max pull it off? Adam goes through personal best as well. He knows he's under pressure, needs to get a move on. This is it. So 30 seconds left to go. If there's nothing to call out, that's going to be race to the checkered flag. And there'll be no more cautions available, and it'll be another complete green flag race for the second round, for the second time in this championship in 8 seconds. Will there be anything? I don't think so. Van Doren, he's clear. The rest are clear. Max exits pit lane. From this point forward, there will be no more cautions. At this point, he'll be racing to the green flag. Despite any incidents, there are no more cautions to come out. The words of the drivers, and this is it. Seven minutes, 37 seconds to go. Gap for the race lead, 6.8 seconds. Adam needs to pit. Mike still needs to pit unless he can desperately hold off. Both of them are going to be on fuel saves. Let's take a listen to that throttle. And especially at the end to the scene of the logo. Is there fuel saving for Van Doren? Let's take a listen and take a look at that telemetry. Little bit. A little tiny bit. It's not aggressive. Chat saying, let's go Ladino. Currently sits in a brilliant P4. But unfortunately, no way he can challenge her anybody up ahead. P4 at the moment, the fastest Brazilian against his teammate Eduardo, P5, P11 overall. But still, this gap, it's going down. 6 seconds and 6 minutes. They also have a bonus lap to go through. Max made his pit stop, so he's going to be pushing absolute as hard as he can. Because if Adam can catch up to Mike and shenanigans go down, well, there could be a potential chance this championship gets a bit closer. However, Christian Ramau also needs to be in this one. Let's take a look at the laps across the line. 124.380 against Anna. 123.98. Well then, we have our stage, but is it going to be set up in time for a last battle? Chat saying, I love you, Daniel, as he leads this race to victory and his first victory in this championship. Anna, here we go. This is it. This is your battle for the race lead. Now, granted, it's almost 7 seconds, balancing between 6 and 7 seconds. Mike has traffic to go through. It's going to chop down his advantage. But same thing with Adam. He cannot afford to lose any bit of time at this point. 5 minutes going to be left to go. And he's going to be pushing very hard to the end here. Switches to the right-hander. Accelerating out. Flicks it to the left. And gap is actually opening up a bit. Take a look at those tire ages as well while we're at it. Just trying to shuffle to the intervals. So, interesting to note. I don't think they're making tire changes. They're just making fuel changes. Unless that's our leaderboard just making a mistake there. Because I feel like they would be changing tires. Christian Ramau going for a fast lap here. So we're going to watch him on board, and we're going to see what this fast lap could do. He's a 17.2 in the first sector. As we also watch Adam. And there we go. So now we can swap back here. And actually, the advantage that Adam had, it's gone down. It's gone backwards. 7.2, 7.3. Mike might be pushing a lot more. That's your gap to look at. Ooh, look how close that was. Lacey. Very close by. His son finally setting here in Brazil. But Van Dorn still in the lead. And it was really a battle coming into this one of whoever finishes ahead of the other. Do we see Van Dorn doing any sort of lifting here? No, he's good. He's confident around here. 3 minutes. Just 3 minutes to do it. Here at Interlagos, the sun sets beautifully down here. For one final time. And, oh, a little bit wide there, but nonetheless, Adam coming in for his stop. He couldn't make it. So eyes are on Van Dorn. Will potentially he have to pit. What about Max? Max and Adam were fighting for position. In fact, Max is, because of his way earlier pit stop, he's able to get ahead. Same with Christian Ramau. And, oh! Has he retired it? Anna Adam is retired! Anna Adam retiring from this race at the final stages of this one. Thank you for the compliments there for the broadcast. That is very surprising. Why did Anna Adam retire from this one? Could have potentially made it the team getting the Constructors' Championship, finishing P1 and P2. But that is interesting. 2 laps probably to go for Mike Van Dorn. But that has now put Max back into second, Christian to third. I'm not too sure how much that changes the championship. I don't think it does, barely. If so. But very interesting to retire out of this one. Maybe it's a little bit of a team play there, not wanting to take some points away, or not too sure what it was. Maybe it could be an emergency, having to hop out the car, or an issue. Whatever it is, that is huge. But as for Van Dorn, if he completes this one, this is going to be his 3rd race win out of the 4 races. The only one to win another one is Anna, so it's been a total domination from that team. But we're in the final minute of this race, the final minute of this championship. And we come down to it. 2 drivers going for a championship. And Van Dorn will come across the line. He'll actually now have 2 to go. Unless he comes into the pits. Well, either way, he'll always have 2 to go. And he actually comes in 38 seconds. Now, I don't know if that's the gap that's going to be perfect for him, but I believe it's just going to be a splash and dash. Does he come across the line in time? Where is the line? He's already crossed the line. And it was a splash and dash. Take a look at that. He's going to be rolling right back on the circuit as Max is going to start racing back on. Just needed a little bit of fuel. Overtime here. And let me just see. So no, it's not the final lap of this one. So 2 to go for Mike Van Dorn. And oh, trouble. Keimani may have made some contact with Eamon. Not battling for position, of course, but Mike Van Dorn, class of the field. So to update the points now with Adam retiring, he's already given up his GGs to him. The points difference, Mike 77, Christian 71. So this championship coming down to it, but here we go. Mike Van Dorn exits the final quarter, and he has just one more lap to claim victory, his third victory in this championship, and a fifth title. Mike Van Dorn, the Dutchman, comes across the line with the sun setting beautifully here. It's the final lap. And what a race this has truly been. Unfortunately, the championship looked to be sealed from the very beginning after Christian Ramau getting taken out. And probably a racing incident or something we have to look at by the end of this one. Very, very hard racing these guys have done. But Mike is once again showing off he is that man to beat. In the GTE category, Santos and Eamon a little bit far behind. I want to give flowers to both Daniel and Eamon because Daniel finally getting his race win. He felt so unlucky at Imola. Finally got his mojo back going at the previous round. Road America turned his luck around. And then Eamon finally, third time's the charm. But Mike Van Dorn, one corner to navigate, coming around now, and Mike has sealed the deal. He is truly CMRSC's man to beat, the driver to beat. And as he races to the checkered flag, Mike Van Dorn is a 5-time champion of the world in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. He takes victory here at Interlagos. Santos turns his look around and he'll take victory here at Interlagos. But Eamon Asseir, it's a third time the charm and a new champion for CMRC. The Italian is champion. And what a way to seal it. Max will finish second for LMP2. What a race. Lacey, has she finished third? And we come around here. I think the drivers are now finishing up their laps. Actually, the positions are all over the place here. Coming to the line. And Christian Ramau will take a valiant third place. A comeback now. A comeback third position. In GTE, it's Eamon. It's Daniel, Eamon, and Eduardo. Another championship. So close in his debut. Oh, so close. But Mike Van Dorn has done it. He's got victory here. Moranti ran out of fuel coming to the end, so he could not finish this one in fourth. But that is it. The championship comes to an end. And Mike Van Dorn is champion for the 5th time. Let's not give any less credit. I might have taken it to the pits. Where is he? Where is Eamon? There he is. He's having some fun here. Gotta give him some love. Oh, contact with Anderson. There we go. Ah, he's busted his tire there. That's your champion. 3rd time's a charm. He's finally done it. Championship number 5. For Mike, championship number 1 for him. I think it's time we go talk to our drivers. For what an incredible bit of racing that was. And just like that, this championship comes to a conclusion. I want to give a round of applause and a thank you for all those who stuck it all the way through to the checkered flag. And congratulations to our top competitors here. And let's start off with our race winners in the LMP2 category. We're going to drag you up here. And he's not just the winner, he is the champion. Mike, you are a 5-time champion in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. That has just got to feel sweet.
Yeah, I mean, this one's definitely very nice. Mainly just because the pace was just very good all race long. I think I only made like one mistake with around 12 minutes to go. So, yeah, I mean, couldn't have been much better. I am sad that I wasn't able to do the one stop though. I was 0.6 liters short. I had like 0.4 liters left at the end with that 1 liter fuel stop that I did. So that's a shame, but yeah, and then I don't know what happened to Christian on lap 1. It was very unlucky that happened. Would have liked a bit of a fight for it, but yeah, it's nice. Also with one race less than the rest to win it is good. So it feels very nice.
Well, the other thing to mention, though, you still had to have a little bit of a fight in the early stages between yourself and Max. Take us through it. You guys were running pretty identical with each other. I think the only difference may have just been that traffic when you got up to it, but it was pretty close for the early stages of that race. Take us through the emotions of it.
Yeah, I mean, he was matching my pace throughout that first half of the first stint. And also, like, as soon as I saw Christian crash on lap 1, I was not really wanting to take any risks, so I was also taking it a bit safe on some of the corners there. So that's also why he was able to keep up, and then that traffic allowed me to get, I think it was like a 2-second gap towards the end of that traffic, so that allowed me to break free, and then yeah, pace was good from there.
Traffic didn't look easy at all around here. Take us through your emotions going through it. It might have been very tough, I'm assuming, in the car, especially through the middle sector.
For me, traffic, I think this was, for me personally, the easiest race with traffic. Because, I mean, it's a wide track, the corners are not that fast, so you can easily go around the outside here with the longer corners. Unlike some of the other tracks where they're short, nearly 90-degree left and right-handers, so that's definitely an advantage here, and yeah, so it wasn't that bad for me personally.
Let's take a step back here. You're a 5-time champion. You're among one of the greatest here in our 4 years of history. What does that mean to you, 5 times being a champion? You're closing in on, of course, Luca Andretti's 7. You are obviously one of the best to do it around here, but what does 5 championships mean to you here in your sim racing career?
I mean, I'm not really that focused on those numbers. Of course, it's a nice stat to have, but in the end, I'm only really here for the fun. So, and I'm having a lot of fun. So, mission accomplished.
Mission accomplished indeed. Celebrate, enjoy yourself, man. You're a champion, 3 race wins out of 4. Not bad. Your 5th championship. Congratulations, Mike.
Yeah, thank you.
And now heading into the GTE class, and we're going to talk to our race winner, Daniel Santos. Daniel, you take victory here. A great dominant win around Interlagos. Victory is yours and a great chunk of points to go on it for the end. How's that one for you?
It was alright. After T1, I don't know what happened. I think the LMP2s at the back were napping a bit. I out-tractioned them for some reason and even went side by side with, I think, 2 of them into T1. But other than that, there was really not much action from me.
Most definitely there. Of course, you had the opposite effect, letting through the LMP2 cars. What Mike was saying, do you believe that to be a little bit true, or was it a bit more difficult to be on the receiving end of letting these guys go through around you? How was it, the whole lapping process with multiclass?
For me, it was fine. There were a couple of overtakes that some people were doing on me. They were a bit more on the way to, I don't know how to even put this, but it's just suicidal in my opinion. Being on the GTs, I was being caught on weird places most of the time, but at least nobody took me out, and yeah.
Well, coming to the end here, you finally get this victory done here at Interlagos. It's got to feel sweet. Congratulations. A bit unfortunate with the past couple rounds. We didn't see you as close as we would have in this championship. But in terms of the next one, will you be competing? How are you feeling going into that one if you are?
Next one, I think I'll just take a break. The cars are not really my thing. I'll still be watching anyways, but yeah, just the cars are not really my thing. Maybe I'll give it a go, like I try one race, or I just practice a bit, see if I can change my opinion, but at least for now, I don't think I'll show up.
I think regardless, a well-deserved break, and you've done very good there, and for sure a championship is just getting closer and closer to your name. Congratulations, a great victory for you.
Thank you.
And finally, last but not least, third time's the charm for this man that we bring up here on stage. Eamon, you are champion. Your first championship. You got it done. It's in the bag. 3 attempts, but hey, third time's a charm. That's got to feel the best, doesn't it?
Mission accomplished, I guess. Finally, the championship came around, and it feels especially satisfying because I'm having big trouble with my PC since I just sold my current rig. So it was very much on the edge. I almost lost it a couple times because of massive freezes. Went straight into turn 1 and stuff. So it was a very satisfying one, and especially thank you to Eduardo for the amazing fight that he gave me for this championship.
Spoiler alert. I mean, the battle you had in this race is going to be a highlight of this one because you guys really pushed yourselves to the absolute limit. But in terms of yourself, I mean, going into this one, you were leading the championship. It didn't matter if you finished ahead or behind, but what did it meant finishing ahead of him in that battle? Was it really like a statement point to put down at this race?
Yeah. As soon as I saw, like, basically like between qualifying and the race, I made some setup changes, and as soon as I saw that it worked, I knew that I had to get that position and finish ahead and even aim for the win. Like I tried to pull off the no stop at the end for the last stop, but I fell short by just a bit, so I had to splash and dash. Came right behind Daniel Santos, but he had brand new tires, so he stayed ahead. If maybe I didn't fight Eduardo in the first stint, maybe I would have had a better chance at the win.
Your first championship here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. Obviously, you've had lots of experience before in past leagues, but what does it mean to get a first one done here in this league?
It means quite a bit because in general, this is my second championship, like all leagues considered, and to be able to get back to the top step of a championship feels pretty nice, knowing that we can replicate it.
Heading up into the future now into open wheel, do you see yourself joining in for the 2000s Grand Prix series?
I definitely see myself doing that. Open wheelers and real drive cars in general are really my bread and butter.
Can't wait to see what you can do. Let's see if you can go 2 for 2 maybe in it. Eamon, congratulations, man. It's been awesome watching you fight for championships and finally getting it done. It's just the best conclusion ever here at Interlagos. Go celebrate, man. You earned it. You enjoyed it. We enjoyed it, and we can't wait to see what you can do in the next one. Congratulations on this one.
Thank you. I just wanted to shout out everyone back at Spirit Racing watching right now. Thank you, guys, and we're getting the next one as well.
Strong words. We can't wait to see what you can do. Congratulations on the championship. Good luck in the next.
Thank you.
Speaking of the next championship, before we get into the trailer, I've just sent the link in the general chat in our Discord. Want to say, for everyone here, congratulations on your results that are going to be uploaded very soon, and the points. Overall, though, it's been awesome. This was our first ever championship that we did 90 minutes of racing. We've never done it before, so that's the only reason why we went with 4 rounds, just to test the waters. But, you know, it's been awesome, and maybe not even multi-class. We could potentially see us doing some more GT3s, GT4s, potentially, with this kind of time limit. But, you know, you've given us that word of, you know, you're committed to it, you love it, and we want to give you more of it. So thank you once again for an amazing championship, participating in this one, and we hope to see you in the next one for Open Wheel, regardless if you are a fan of F1 or not. But without further ado, I know a lot of you guys have been waiting for the trailer, because the trailers are always some of the best parts of the championships. So if you take over to the live stream right now, we're going to play that for you. You guys can head into the lounge chat afterwards, and we're going to have the debrief, and we'll talk over it, and we'll start setting our sights on for the next race, starting in 2 weeks' time. August 9th would be the first round at Sepang for the Malaysian Grand Prix. Thank you, everyone, once again, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time. And that is going to do it here in Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club's Endurance Championship. Once again, fantastic bits of racing. 90 minutes of racing. We've never done it before until now. But that is it. That is done and dusted. What does the future lie? You've heard me mention it many times, but you may have not seen what the 2000s Grand Prix Series is. Well, you're gonna get a sneak peek right now. Avid viewers of the channel would have witnessed the teaser. That, well, how would I say it? It really parodied the F1 movie. So hopefully you guys enjoy what we have in store. Coming up next, it is the 2025 2000s Grand Prix Championship.